You just clicked on this video, which means you have signed up for the series of Pain and Agony by HellCastle and Furry E-Boy. The whole purpose of this challenge series is to beat every single boss in Hypixel Skyblock with the cheapest armor possible. Why? Because it's fun, they said, and also because it is entertaining and a bit educational, and I want to both entertain and educate you. So about the rules. 1. I must face all bosses solo, which means I can get no help at all from anyone. 2. I must try my best to use the cheapest possible gear at all times. 3. I can keep my talismans and my god pots, as those are part of my profile, just like my skills. We might do another series like this on a new 0 skill profile later on. This is part 1, and in this video, I will be doing tier 3 and tier 4 of each Slayer except Void Gloom, and I will be doing floor 0 to floor 4 in dungeons. But fear not, the other parts of this series will contain every other boss and dungeon floor in Hypixel Skyblock. First bosses we will do are the Revenant Horror Slayer bosses. For armor, I decided to go as cheap as I possibly can. I bought Zombie Knight boots, Zombie Knight leggings, Zombie Knight helmet, and a Zombie Knight Soldier chestplate. If you didn't know, Zombie Knight and Zombie Soldier are probably the best value items in this game. They are dirty cheap and way too good for their price. For a sword, I decided to go for the highest value sword possible, which was the Zombie Soldier Cutlass at only 6,000 coins. And all of those costed me only a total of 126,000 coins. I decided to go for 0 healing and 0 pets because I am a Chad and I don't need those. I was doing really low damage compared to the millions I usually do with my main set, and I was not confident I could kill a tier 3 nor a tier 4 like this. But I was very surprised by how fast I was able to kill a tier 3. Now loading up a tier 4, I was a little scared that this beast would whoop my ass. But boy was I wrong. I was the one doing the ass whooping here. I completely embarrassed the famous tier 4 and mobbed the dirt with its face with a set that costs only 4 times the price to summon it. At this point, I was pretty confident and decided to start a tier 5 Revenant boss and try to kill it with my current set, thinking I might have a chance. And boy was I wrong, but in the bad way this time. This boss is no joke. It throws TNT at you that can one-tap you, it slaps you harder than your parents on school grades day, and it chases you down like you owe it money. After getting completely destroyed by this thing, I knew I had to get a sizable upgrade. I decided to go for 2 4th Reaper armor and keep my 2 4th Zombie Knight armor, and I made a very big purchase of a Reaper Falchion, which costed me a lot of coins, but the damage increase was necessary, as if I don't deal enough damage in a certain amount of time, the boss will literally despawn before I can kill it. And even with all that, the tier 5 still won. My issue here was that I wasn't dealing enough damage, and I also wasn't healing quick enough. So I decided I should buy an uncommon Tiger pet, because that's the best value for coins pet I could find. And I bought the cheapest power orb I could find and a wand of mending for really cheap. These were a massive help, but they were nowhere near enough. After failing multiple times, I decided I need a new upgrade, so I bought 2 unstable armor pieces. These did help quite a bit, but I still wasn't dealing enough damage and I was still dying. I went ahead and bought 2 strong armor pieces, which only gave me a little boost in damage, but that's all I really needed. After multiple attempts, I was doing my very best to dodge the TNT, healing tactically at crucial times, and being an absolute beast in this fight. And I was able to get the tier 5 down to its knees, at only 500k HP, and then it killed me. I was only 8 clicks away from killing it, but I failed. At this point, I knew that this won't work. I had one more cheap trick up my sleeve, and that's the Monster Raider set. This set is arguably the oldest full set in the game, and it's the coolest. It did cost me quite a bit, but it was certainly worth it. With this set's bonus, I was confident that I could kill this monster. And I did. It was a close fight, but I emerged victorious. This whole set costed me 2.4 million coins, but I'm honestly happy with these results, as I thought a Revenant chestplate was going to be essential to do this, which alone is like 2 mil. Now moving on to other bosses, I had to start doing the Tarantula Slayer. I decided to use the same set I mowed down tier 3 and tier 4 Revenant horror bosses with. The amount of spiders in this cave reminded me of the spiders in my old public school's toilets, which triggered my PTSD, so I started clicking randomly in every direction, and I somehow killed the tier 3 Tarantula boss. For the tier 4, I decided to go somewhere a bit quiet, so I could have some one-on-one time with the spider, if you know what I mean. And after comically bonking the spider for like a minute, I was able to kill it without losing much health. Next on the hit list was a dog called Sven. I decided to farm up for the boss in the Howling Caves, as wolves here give you more XP. Tier 3 was a walk in the park, or should I say a walk in the water. I was able to easily kill it with the 126k coins armor set. Now I was very worried that I wouldn't be able to do Sven tier 4 with this armor set, as this boy does lots of true damage. But this stupid dog couldn't do anything against me and my cheap armor, and was easily defeated. Now I started feeling like I could maybe remove some pieces of my armor to save up coins, and to make the fight harder. So I started by removing my helmet, and I was still able to kill it. Then, I removed my chestplate, and despite being sure that I am going to die, I didn't, and I managed to kill it somehow. I went ahead and removed my boots, so I was wearing pants only, and as expected, this dog treated me like a bone and had fun tossing me around before eventually devouring me. So I was able to kill Sven tier 4 with only Zombie Knight leggings and boots and a cutlass, which are 46k coins in total, which is honestly mind-blowing. At this point, I realized how good this cheap armor set is, and I decided to legally marry it. Now this part of the video is going to be dungeons. The same rules before apply here, except I can get help from others to clear the dungeon, but they all must leave as soon as I join the boss room. Dungeons is different since you can star items and choose classes. For entrance, I wanted to go as cheap as possible, with only a sword and no armor at all. But that can't be done with my current zombie cutlass sword, as I will have no defense with it at all. So I decided to get a weapon that gives you defense when you hold it, which is the Earth Shard. It gives you a fair bit of defense if you match it with tank class, and does okay damage for entrance floor. And just like that, with only 10,000 coins, I was able to clear the entrance floor, also known as floor 0. For floor 1, I did the exact same thing as entrance floor. I went in there and said hello to Bonzo butt naked with only a weird looking sword in my hand. I was barely able to beat him and I nearly died, but he was so impressed that he decided to give me a Bonzo staff in one of his chests. For floor 2, I decided to wear 2 armor pieces, Zombie Soldier chestplate and Zombie Knight leggings, because going completely new to meet a weeb is a terrible idea. Trust me, I've tried it. When I entered the boss room, my focus was to instantly take down the priest, because he would heal everyone else if I don't. After taking him down, the rest were easy to deal with, and just like that, I was done with phase 1. Phase 2 was way harder, as I had a crazy weeb chasing me around trying to convince me to read his messed up manga or watch 1000 episodes of One Piece, and I wanted to do none of those, so my only option was murder. After killing his priest, archer, warrior, and mage, this dude was on my ass 24/7, literally. All I did was wait for my seismic impact to charge up and drop a fat load of blocks on his forehead, and just like that, I was able to attempt this fight with only about 76,000 coins. When I reached floor 3, I knew I'm gonna have a bad time, so I decided to put on all my armor, which is the Zombie Knight Soldier and Zombie Knight set. The complexity of this fight makes it really hard to solo. You have to kill all the guardians within only 10 seconds in order to progress. I was lacking lots of DPS, so I decided to put 5 stars on my sword and see what happens. After putting 5 stars on my sword, I was doing good enough damage, but I was barely surviving, so I also put 5 stars on every armor piece. Then, I realized that I physically am unable to reach the boss with my sword, and I cannot damage it. So I bought a machine gun bow and 5-starred it as well, which costed me around 6,000 coins. After many failed attempts and stupid death either due to getting completely nuked by beams or dying to boats, I was finally able to hand the stupid fish over to Netron so he can zap it. Floor 3 was out of the way, costing me less than 150,000 coins to beat. Now, floor 4. Floor 4, floor 4, floor 4. Oh boy, this floor caused me so much mental and physical pain, I don't even think I could put it into words. Let me grab your hand and walk you through hell itself, if hell was made out of aggressive vegans. This floor made me develop hatred to all sorts of animals, especially cows and rabbits. Every time I see a cow outside now, I will get PTSD flashbacks to this floor. Everyone, including Furry E-Boy, told me that Mage would be essential to beat this floor, because it does good AoE damage and wouldn't be possible without it. But I didn't listen to them because I'm a Chad, and I knew I could do it with enough determination. The reason I didn't want to go Mage is because Mage gear is hella expensive, and I wanted to keep this video genuine and use the cheapest armor I could possibly physically use. So I used the same set I was using in floor 3. My first few runs of this floor were very sad. I got ran over by hordes of animals and I couldn't do anything about it. I needed some sort of mobility item, but there were none. The cheapest one is a Neo TE, which costs 250,000 coins, and that is way too much for my set. But there was only one item that I could use to move around, which was the grappling hook. And god, I hate the grappling hook so much. This is the most inconsistent mobility item, especially when there's 50 wolves trying to bite your butt and punching you around. After getting a grappling hook which costed me 4,000 coins, I got some decoys that I have collected from secrets in these past runs, because you can lure some of the mods in floor 4 into a corner using these decoys, and most importantly, it lures the bats away from me the whole run, which is really important, as bats chase you around very swiftly and deal massive damage that can easily kill you. I kept failing a few runs because I couldn't get to the top of the stadium to place decoys, until I learned how to do it and got consistent at it. My main strategy was to kill enough mobs until they stopped spawning after the 30 minutes mark, because there's a cap, and then kill the spirit bear multiple times and shoot Thorn with the bear's bow. Everything was going as planned, until I reached the 30-minute mark and saw a huge horde of cows spawning. I knew that this probably got patched, and mobs will keep spawning no matter what. To add salt to the wound, the bats started glitching out and spawning in quantities and teleporting backwards, which made them completely ignore the decoy sometimes, leaving me running from them the whole time, unless I stand right next to the decoy. The time was getting pretty late, and I knew I had to start focusing on killing the spirit bear to obtain his bow, and if I don't do so in time, then the dungeon will close and I'd have to do all of this over again, which I really didn't want to. The spirit bear was pretty tough to kill, as my super cheap gear dealt barely any damage, but I managed to kill him and steal his bow and shoot Thorn once out of 4 times. But the issue is that Thorn gets significantly faster each time you shoot him, so it got tougher after each hit. I was able to hit Thorn with the bow 3 times without failing, but for the 4th, it got really difficult, especially when there's hordes of animals chasing you and punching you around. Despite failing multiple final shots, I kept trying and didn't lose hope, until I reached the 1 hour mark. I thought the dungeon is gonna close, but apparently it's 1 hour 2 minutes for it to close. When the spirit bear spawned, I went down and started slapping him with my earth shard like if my life depended on it, and I rained down blocks on him every 10 seconds until he died and gave me his bow. This was my final chance. I needed one more final shot, just one more, and all this pain would be over. And then, this happened. Oh my god! What? I beat it. I was able to solo floor 4 with armor worth less than 150,000 coins. I did not imagine I could do this at all. I thought I had to use expensive mage gear to do it. But do not worry, this is not the end of this journey. We will make a part 2 when this video reaches 5,000 likes. because I want to make sure people enjoy this kind of videos before I put myself to even more torture, which would be floors 5, 6, 7, and Master Floors, and Voided Loom Slayer, and Dragons, and Magma Cubes, and all the other bosses. Shout out to Panadol for making this video possible. I hope you've enjoyed. See ya, have a nice day.